Hey everybody, KC here. So listen, since the beginning of the pandemic, when we all stopped going to the movie theaters and we started consuming content at home, movies, TV shows, binging, all that sort of stuff, I've made the argument that this was not just a short-term trend, this is going to be a long-term trend, reflecting not just the realities of the pandemic, but actually talking about consumer preferences, and that the entertainment industry was going to have to adapt to these changing preferences in the same way that retailers have to adapt to the fact that people are not going to shop the same way going forward as they have in the past. I think it's it's an effective metaphor, if you will. Interesting. There was just a piece in the New York Times that starts out this way. About 49% of pre-pandemic moviegoers are no longer buying tickets. Some of them, roughly 8%, have likely been lost forever. To win back the rest, multiplex owners must urgently rethink pricing and consumer perks in addition to focusing on coronavirus safety. And this study apparently was self-commissioned by Quorum, a film research company, Cultique, a consultancy run by the longtime brand strategist Linda Ong, and Fanthropology, which describes itself as a research, strategy, and creative agency. And they're going to apparently do this study once a quarter. I have to chuckle a little bit when I read all of the efforts that went into this survey. I could have saved them a lot of money because the stuff they're talking about in this study is stuff that I've been talking about for almost 2 years now. And the fact that, listen, it's in some ways, movie theaters have to do the same thing that minor league baseball, right, had to do, which is create a more effective and fan-friendly experience and figure out ways to make it economical for people to go to. And at the end of the day, figure out how is the product they're going to deliver, separate from the movies that they're showing, how is that going to be a draw for consumers, right? And listen, in a lot of ways, they're at the mercy of the studios that are making the movies. You know, I think about the movie that I just saw on Netflix, Red Notice, with Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot. And this movie cost a lot of money to make. I think the actors alone made tens of millions of dollars apiece. And the problem is they spent so much money on the actors and probably on filming. They clearly didn't spend a lot of money on the writing because the script is terrible. And it's entertaining and it's funny, but it just shouldn't have cost all the money that it cost. Or at those rates, it should have been a lot better. And it seems to me that one of the things the film industry is going to have to do is kind of rethink that stuff and maybe focus a little bit more on saying, hey, listen, let's do another draft of the script. Let's make sure that everything works. And make sure that the product is better, because at the end of the day, theaters are only going to be effective if the product that they're showing is really, really good and good enough to make people want to go out to the theater. And I got to tell you, with very few exceptions, there's almost nothing that I have seen during the pandemic, watching on my big screen right here in my office or in our family room, that I would have said, would have been such a better experience in the movie theater. And it's the same thing that retailers have to think about. We've talked about energy here. You've got to create a retail experience that says to people, hey, listen, we're worth coming to. We're worth venturing out of your house. We can provide something that you're not going to get when you're shopping online. It's the same problem. And the one thing you can't do is say, well, we're going to do things the way we've always done them. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.